A nation can be defined by many things: its shared customs, values, faith, symbols, history, or language. Some nations can even share these traits. But what makes a nation different from a country is that a nation is not necessarily a state. A nation does not need defined borders. India is not some monolithic giant where everyone speaks Hindi or is a Hindu, but a patchwork of over 2,000 ethnic groups, 121 languages, and is home to millions of Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians. It is what can be defined as a multinational state. The Soviet Union is another example of the multinational state. At the height of its power, it ruled over the steppe peoples of Central Asia, the Siberian natives, the mountain-dwelling Caucasians, the Baltic peoples, the Latin Moldovans, and finally the East Slavs. But during its existence, the East Slavs held a dominant position within the Soviet state. This was the case since Moscow was the political center of this state. The distinct peoples of the Soviet Union learned Russian, the language of the dominant nation within the Union. With Russia's position over the other Soviet republics, Russian culture and especially its history spread across the world, almost acting as an equivalence of its Soviet identity. Ask a Russian about the beginning of their nation and almost certainly they'll point to the Kievan Rus, one of the largest and most advanced states in medieval Europe. The Trident of Vladimir the Great, the Eastern Orthodox Church, the Old East Slavic language are all defining markers of Russian history. But Ukraine also shares these same exact symbols, and the Ukrainian nation also sees itself as the heir of this first East Slavic entity. It is a mistake to believe that a single nation would hold a monopoly over historical identity. The legacy of Rome is not solely reserved for the Italians, neither are the caliphates for Saudi Arabia. Our modern view of the nation-state confined to set borders and national histories is a very recent phenomenon. And to truly understand why these two brother nations are in the midst of war, we have to take off our modern lens and look at the historical evolution of the relationship between Moscow and Kiev. There is no single legitimate successor to the Kievan Rus, and to analyze the history of a country, you cannot base its past solely at its peak, but on all different states of its existence and the reality of geopolitics. From the very first peoples who lived in these expansive grasslands of Eastern Europe to the 2022 invasion of Ukraine, this video will present the story about the complexities of defining a nation, the conflicting interests of empires, and the 1,000-year journey of the East Slavs. This is History City, and you are about to watch Russia and Ukraine. Where did it all go wrong?